So you can't see me. It's the ghost voice. No, not really. I'm still here, but let me have them introduce themselves to you, and they'll tell you exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Hi, my name is Chris Hill. I publish original graphic novels and manga, like you can see here. And today I have a couple of books through my publishing company, Rapture Productions. And this is Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Winley. I'm a voice actor. Most notably, I was Rei Ayanami in Evangelion. I've also was Yukiko in Persona 4, and I'm just here hanging out meeting people.
Yeah. Man, I want you to tell your story because you're also here for. You were talking about some other things that happened that we all know, everybody saw in early January. So talk about the fires and everything that you went to.
The fires. We are victims of the Altadena fires. We lost everything in them, and it's so bizarre because I just was convinced it couldn't happen to us. I thought, we're too far inland. That stuff happens to the people who live out in the hills. We'll be fine. And then at 4 a.m, my husband woke me up and said, we're in an evacuation zone. And I was like, really? So I went and I looked in our backyard, and there were embers falling in the yard. And I was like, okay, time to go. We got to get out of here. And it completely just didn't even decimate our house. It just obliterated it. Like there was barely even ash left. It was burning so hot. So now we are going to move to a house in Arcadia this week and hopefully get our life back on track.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm asking you about it, because I've actually met some of the people that were victims of the fire. But being here, I mean, they're still dealing with it, obviously, and, it's a real life thing. But being here at something like WonderCon, it's like a ray of hope that, yes, things are going to be okay. I mean, do you feel that also?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a little bit of normalcy, as much as a con is normal, in a very chaotic world right now. It's very comforting.
Yeah. So let's talk about your books. When did you get into manga? Well, that's a thing, I guess.
That's a broad
do you say
question.
Manga
yeah.
or manga?
Well, so I have a whole rant about loan words and how they're used and the pronunciation of them. At the moment, the consensus is basically manga is the right way to pronounce it if we're trying to add inflection. But I don't really hold it against people who just say manga because, it's English. We're going to relax the way we speak as it becomes a more normal word that we use.
Yeah.
But I personally have studied a lot of Japanese for years. I work with Japanese artists. So it's drilled in my head. It's manga. Even though it should be anime, and I just say anime because I'm lazy.
Yeah. So you kind of answered it. So before you started writing, that's how you were introduced?
Yeah, when I was introduced to it originally, so when I was a teenager in the 2000s, I happened to stumble across some animated series that Amanda had actually worked on, like Blue Seed and anything that the Encore Action Channel was airing. And so I was anime first, like a lot of people. And then as I started to watch more things like Bleach, which goes into filler arcs, I was like, I should just read the source material, which is the manga. And so that got me more and more into just reading and not bothering with waiting for a new season to come out or anything. And for me, I got into comics. When I was in middle school, I was drawing little stick figure comics and things like that. But out of high school, I started to want to do web comics because there was a big web comics boom in the early 2000s. So if you recall, Mega Tokyo, VG Cats, Penny Arcade, all of those were really huge. So there's a big market for web comics. And so my writing partner and I started to come up with ideas for how can we also do something like this. And we pitched the comics to a couple of small publishers who did not like what we were doing and decided we would just put it up online. And eventually that turned into doing American-style graphic novels, which turned into me trying to pitch them some of those comics for animation, which then turned into, you know what, I want to do this the way I always wanted to do it. I've always been sort of influenced by Japanese media. So if it's possible, I would like to find an artist who can draw in that style, which turned into these fine folks. Pepper is the primary artist. It just sort of grew from there. And this is our behemoth 364-page book that took a few years to make and was funded on Kickstarter. It is about this character, Camille, who is a bumbling idiot trying to take over the world. And it's kind of like Peaky in the brain if Peaky were in charge, is what we usually say. And this is our latest book that was funded on Kickstarter in January. It's about a pair of hard-boiled middle school detectives solving a case of missing Girl Scout cookies. But off-brand. It's not actual Girl Scout because we don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, we have a well-oiled machine now in making manga with American storytelling, but with Japanese artists.
I like it. So where can they go to get your books if they want to?
So both of these books are available. They're in pre-order status because all of my stock was destroyed. But they're on Rapture-Productions.com, and they will be on Amazon in a few weeks.
Amanda, do you have websites or anything where they want you?
AmandaWinley.com. I know it's sort of a hell site, but I'm most active on Twitter. That's Amanda Winley on Twitter is the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Yeah, I'll find them and put them under the description for all of you guys watching. So thanks so much, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.